Welcome back to another edition of the Karate in the Garage podcast. I am your host, Mason Merrill, and with me today again is my co-host, Weston Toth. How's it going?
Man, going good. How are you, Mason?
Good, man. It's been a little bit since we've done this.
Dude, the world is a crazy place, and obviously our lives are in there as well, so we just take a little hiatus, but we're back.
Yeah, the last time we did this, we did it in person here up here in Texas where I live, and now there's words such things like social distancing that didn't even exist back when we did this last in October.
I know. The craziest thing too was, you were supposed to come visit me this weekend, and we would have done another one.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the world is just a dangerous place right now.
Yeah, we gotta be careful. So.
So what's been going on with you?
Oh, not too much. Just been working and, not getting laid off, which is a good thing.
I know, man. I feel so much. Yeah. Thankfully enough, both of us have some good job security because I feel so bad for so many people, especially like in like the food service industry or the like retail, anything like that is just getting destroyed right now. And of course, there's not even any help from the government yet because they can't make their minds up. So poor people.
They can't quit fighting long enough to get something done.
Help everyone out. I know. Wild.
Yep. Well, if you're at home quarantining or if you're sick or whatnot, we're here to bring you a little bit of maybe a little bit of joy, maybe a little fun.
Yeah, man.
For your day.
The good thing about the quarantining for all gamers is if you're a gamer, a lot of times you just quarantine yourself in life anyway.
I've seen all the memes that's just like the gamers have finally won. They're taking over.
I know. It's like day 7 of quarantine. Nothing has changed in my life.
Exactly.
It's so true, though.
That's hilarious. Okay, so we had tried to get this going a few weeks ago. Just things have ran in different circles, but the game we decided on was Sonic the Hedgehog, and that was right around the movie came out, and I guess that's still pretty irrelevant because no real movies have come out since then because of this crazy virus.
Yeah. So, the craziest thing is we decided to play Sonic the Hedgehog 1, and I was expecting, I remember this, like, I'll get right back into it, but I have played this game before, like, once or twice, but the game that I remember is actually either Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or 3. So when I got back into it, I was like, wait, where, like, this isn't the second level.
Yeah, exactly. Where's Tails?
Yeah, I was like, bro, where's Tails at? So
yeah, exactly.
I don't know if that happened to you, but I just, for some reason, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, and I just was sitting there going like, wait, this, obviously every Sonic or almost every Sonic game starts in Green Hills.
Yeah, exactly.
Which you do in this one as well, but it's just the second level is. I was like, wait, this doesn't look familiar at all.
Yeah, it's funny. That's a lot of the same question that I asked about the movie was like, hey, where's Tails at? When I was watching the movie too. So, just taking with that suit, the only character in this game besides Dr. Robotnik and the little monsters you fight is Sonic himself. Yeah,
it's literally Sonic. Obviously the robots that you fight, and which are like woodland creatures or Sonic, like basically people of Sonic's world who Dr. Robotnik captures and turns them into his slaves. So that's like the storyline of the original Sonic, and that's all it is side scroller Sonic. You fight Robotnik a couple times and free the creatures, and that's it.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's a pretty basic format that has really outlived the test of time because a lot of games, even today, still use this same type of format. Obviously, with added features and things like that, but just that base side-scrolling adventure game has really held up.
Yeah, I think so too, man. I got back into it, and even though I hadn't played this one, and there was some things from this to the second one with Sonic and Tails, basically Sonic 2. That I liked in the second game, that I remember at least, because I played that game so much as a kid. But still, like just the basicness, like side scroller fun of Sonic, the music, the graphics. I thought it was. I mean, I had fun playing this game.
Yeah, it wasn't the like you said, the game wasn't glitchy at all. It wasn't like slow moving. And, we played the actual Genesis version of this game, not just like an iOS version or Apple TV. It's on every platform now. But we played the first one that actually came out that was developed. So there was no tweaks or mods done to the game. And yeah, it was as smooth as could be, and the animations were really good, and Sonic moved around, the speeding through the zone and everything. It felt really fluid.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I kind of just a few points here. We're kind of going through the game as we're reviewing the game. The game came out in June 23rd of 1991. Obviously, the developers were Sonic Team, and the publisher was Sega.
Yep. Oh yeah, dude. This is Sega's Mario. This is their love child right here.
Yeah, which is funny because now Sonic has been introduced into the Nintendo world as like pretty much a staple there now.
I know it is funny how obviously Nintendo's grown to be the company that is now, and Sega kind of just sorry. My brother's just texting me that our county have as a shelter-in-place order on Tuesday.
Uh-oh, can't leave.
Oh, nuts. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, like it has. Yeah. So anyway, sorry. So like, yeah, Sonic was actually like basically one of the first. I think he came even before Mario. If I'm not.
Mario was technically in the 80s, so this was kind of a release as like a rival type thing.
Oh, but okay, so Sonic was the rival, so my bad. Anyway, but he was the rival, and I remember like basically you either had a Sega Genesis, unless you're rich, like you had a Sega Genesis or you had a Super Nintendo or NES growing up, and I had this Super NES, but I was always super excited to go over to my friend's house and play Sonic and
yeah,
Sega.
Exactly. We had Nintendos too, but my cousins had the Sega. So same here. We would go over there and play Sonic, and it was like a whole new world. I'm like, oh man, this is so much more fun than Mario. I think if I had the other one, I would have said that about the other one too. So vice versa.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. It was all fun. But obviously Nintendo's pretty much won this war, and now they're kind of allies because Sega they're still a big developer, but they just develop games and for pretty much anyone's platforms. There's Sonic games on Microsoft and Nintendo and everything.
Yeah, so as far as the gameplay goes with this game, as we mentioned, it's a 2D side-scrolling game, and which is kind of funny because the Sega Genesis controller, remember it had 6 buttons on the right side of it? There's only you use the joystick and the one button in this game, and that's it. So yeah, because it's all just press down button to rev up and then speed and jump and all that.
Wait, did you rev up? Simple. I was trying to rev up in this one and I couldn't.
Yeah, I think it's just the down. You just hold the down button and it'll speed it up. Yeah.
Oh, you just have to hold it down because that's okay. So in the second one, this is why I was like a little confused because in the second game you had to hold it and you pressed another button, like whatever one of the 6, and you kept on pressing it and it would speed it up even faster.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think when I first played this game, I had that issue, but because of the same exact thing, because it's a different kind of setup in the other games.
Oh, okay. So you could speed up, but just it was a little bit different. But because I never actually did that, I played the game without it, which you don't. I mean, the speed up's fine, but you don't really need it.
Yeah. Exactly. And you can, like you said, you can get through them. And but I really like we were talking about the fluidity of the game. When you really get going fast through the level, I mean, you can get ahead of yourself and moving, which is really cool for that era of gaming because it's just, you can move super fast through these levels and finish them pretty quickly.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so each real zone has 3 levels to it. It's the first act, the second act, and then the third act is when you fight Robotnik at the end of each level. And there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zones. Green Hill, Marble, Spring Yard, Labyrinth Zone, Starlight Zone, Scrap Brain Zone, and the final zone.
Okay, yeah. So but all of them together, if you didn't die too much, it took about like an hour to finish.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't. I mean, if you could finish the game without dying, like it was about like a straight full hour of playing.
Yeah, which I finished this game before, in recent years, but I didn't finish it when we were reviewing it. For the or when I was kind of playing it this last couple weeks for it. But yeah, like you said, I mean, if you're pretty good at the game, which it's not real hard to be good at the game. There are some kind of strategic moments, especially like when you're underwater and things like that. You have to really budget your time and try to get yourself out of trouble a lot of times and not get crushed or not drown or whatnot.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Overall, like, if to me, like, I died. The funniest thing is on the Green Hills level, like the second one, I died so many times to the spikes because I would get going really fast with the speed boots.
Yeah.
And then I just would be flying past level. But then once I just kind of slowed down just a little bit, all the levels were pretty easy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. You just kind of not get ahead of yourself like you can do in these games.
Yeah, you just want to like fly. Because if you get going quick, like you can get up a ramp and fly a half across the level. But obviously, if you land on the spikes when you come back down, it doesn't do you very good.
Yeah, exactly. So as far as story in this game, there was kind of just like a one mission type thing. You just play the level, free the animals, and beat Dr. Robotnik.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
so
pretty much it.
The game was really didn't have too much story to it. It was kind of similar to Super Mario World. There wasn't a whole lot of story to that game. Maybe a little more than this, but just kind of similar vein. There's no real cutscenes in the game or anything like that. So it's a more gameplay driven rather than story driven game.
Yep, exactly.
The boss fights were fun and unique. The first one's real simple and they kind of work themselves up from there. There's even one where you're just chasing Robotnik through the level until you get to the end, and if you hit him enough, you could beat him, and if you didn't have to beat him. You just end the level. So I think it was the labyrinth level, as long as you didn't die during that part.
Yep. Yeah, they were all pretty basic mechanics for just like Sega Genesis back in the day, but I did like they were all predictable but still fun, and you did have to like have control of your character. You had to think. It wasn't super hard in general.
Yeah, for sure. So difficulty, there's no difficulty settings in this game. It's just kind of one go of it, and like you said, if you're pretty good with a platformer, you could get through it and beat it, not too difficult. And then the last category of review I kind of had was just how does the game hold up, and I think it holds up well. I mean, they've even continued on with these type platformers. They've gone to more like open world type Sonic games, but there's also the platform ones that have come out like Sonic Mania and things like that. So I think it holds up pretty well. I think it definitely in the other games they added some features like you could race and two players with Tails and Knuckles and things like that. So definitely, but the mechanics of the game, I think it holds up really well even to now, which we're like almost 30 years later. Okay, so I guess unless you have anything else to say about this game, I guess that'll wrap this one up. It was pretty basic game.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I really like the music too. I think Sonic was one of the first games that kind of had like a rock vibe to it, or just like the music in general. I thought was always really good. So I think the music definitely holds up too, and as does the side scrolling. So I enjoyed it. I think it was a really nice game to play. Good, refreshing change.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I forgot to bring up the music. Yeah, that's totally 100% with that. That was good stuff. Nicely orchestrated things for that era. So
yeah, kind of get you pumped, get you psyched.
Yeah, for sure. So what are we going to rank this game with? Oh, wait, we didn't mention the different features. There's the star power, there's the force field. The star power was kind of just like
invincibility.
Yeah, invincibility, and then the shield.
Except from spikes.
Yeah, the shield. Was it the shield and a bubble, or was the shield the bubble as well? Because you could go underwater.
The shield, it was the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. So
it was like a force field. You could
take a shield. Yeah.
Yeah, you could breathe underwater, and you could take one damage, and it wouldn't break your rings basically. Yeah. So you had like one extra hit. So
yeah, exactly.
And obviously the speed boots too.
Yeah, and then if you get hit, you lose rings, and then you got to collect them back. And then if you got 100, you get extra life. There's mechanics like that. So anyway,
yeah,
forgot about that.
Pretty basic. Yeah. Get 100 rings, get extra life. As long as you had one ring, you could get hit, But if you had 0 rings and you got hit one time, you would die.
Yep,
So,
and there was little like checkpoints through the levels too, where you could start back in the middle of the level if you died.
yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Pretty
All right.
basic.
Yep. So wrapping that one up, what are we gonna rate this game with?
Dude, you got to do it out of rings, of course.
Yeah.
Gold rings.
Yeah. What am I thinking? Okay, so 10 out of 10 rings. I'm gonna do maybe like a 7, just because, there was a lot of room for improvement in the game, which they did moving forward. So I'll give it about a 7 out of 10.
Yep, I completely agree. That's exactly what I was thinking. I think 7 out of 10. If we review the other ones preceding this, I think that it's going to be higher than that.
Yeah.
But I think for this one, it's definitely a little repetitive. I didn't like how there was three zones or 3
Levels
stages to one zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it was like 2, or like some of them had 1 and then other ones had 2, just to like mix it up. And the bonus stage was kind of dumb too on this game.
Yeah, and lack of real story there, and where it really took off was Sonic Adventure with the story type driven stuff, which was cool.
Yeah, very true. It was good. I think it was a very solid game, but it was 7.
Yeah, for sure. I think if I want to review another Sonic game, it would probably either be like Sonic Adventure 1, 2, or some of the PlayStation like 3 ones they did back in the day.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think even Sonic Adventure 1 or 2 on the because those games
they're on PS now.
I actually, or yeah, PS now. Are they?
Yeah.
Really?
I played Sonic Adventure recently on there.
I would like to review that if we could do that in the future, just because I want to see, because when those games first came out, they were like 10 out of 10 for me. So I wonder if they hold up.
Yeah, we should do Sonic Adventure
be
2,
cool.
because I remember we played that a lot together. Back when Dreamcast, and then they re-released it on like GameCube and things like that. So that'd be fun to like play that, because that was actually one we played a lot together.
Oh yeah, I mean both of them are pretty fantastic, but Sonic Adventure 2 definitely even just took what 1 did and made it better. So I would like to know if it holds up.
Yeah,
cool.
For sure. It's definitely a franchise that's been a household name for a long time, so it's pretty cool. And that really takes us down to the movie that just came out a couple months ago.
Yep. What were your thoughts on it? I know we both saw it.
Yeah, no, I liked it. It was overall the highest grossing video game movie ever, which is insane to me. But
I know, because there's been some other ones that are, obviously pretty high priority.
Yeah, and I think this really came out of nowhere too. It was just like, oh, we'll try this out, and it turned out not to be a flop, which is crazy.
Yeah, the cool thing about this movie is, obviously I don't know for sure, but the whole whenever they put it out and made him bad, and there was like this huge that it was like, oh my god, Sonic looks so disgusting. Yeah. He doesn't look good at all. I'm almost 100% sure that was a marketing ploy.
Really? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think
so. I really do, because obviously anyone who did this movie, they had to brought in like somewhat, Sega or professionals or whatever to do this, and it didn't look like him at all. He looked disgusting, and then it got so much hype around it, and then when they brought it back, and he I mean, because really, what did they show in the trailers that they could have just made 2 CGI versions of?
It's true.
Yeah. It didn't show that much, so they could have literally, and I'm sure it would take some work, but it was a big marketing stunt that was the possibility. But either way, Sonic looked great, and the graphics were I think that's the one thing about video game movies now, is the CGI it looks so real now that video game characters and stuff like that, they can make them where it's fun to watch, and the actors, I think the way that they're interacting with the characters, it must be more natural, because the actors are just so much better now than they were. Like, do you remember watching like not Attack of the Clones, with Phantom Menace, with Liam Neeson's a great actor, but he was horrible in that movie, because he said that it was so unnatural to act like with a green screen. They're like, hey, here's this little dot, like act like you're trying to do this to it, and it just didn't make sense. But they're putting people like even like the bad guys in suits now, and they're able to really get into characters. So I don't know, I had zero expectations for it, and you said, yeah, you should go see it, and I did. And I really enjoyed it, actually.
Yeah.
Like, at least a 7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, it was one of those movies that was good for all age group. I mean, I really enjoyed it. My son really enjoyed it. It was like one of the first movies we've actually sat through the whole time, and him not want to get up and like walk around and stuff. So it was good.
That's
I
awesome.
actually had to go to the bathroom during it. I was like, "Hey, come on, let's go." He's like, "No, I don't want to." I'm
No,
like, "Come on, I'm
no.
not leaving you here."
That's great.
But yeah, I thought
Jim Carrey was so
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, and James Marsden, he was good too.
Yeah, he was.
It was a little cheese, but that's Sonic. I kind of expected that. It was pretty. It had some cheesy moments, but the relationship of Sonic and I can't remember his name in the movie, but it turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah, it was cheese a little bit, but it wasn't too much, and it wasn't like over the top. It just kind of, and the cheesy part about it was almost like the character Sonic,
Yeah.
which you kind of almost
Expect,
yeah, and you're kind of like a little mushy for because of his backstory, and you kind of feel bad for. So it was a little cheesy, but I was like, okay, it didn't give me like cringe feeling. It just was like, it's a little cheesy, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, for sure. Jim Carrey was really good, like you said. His character was cheesy too, but he was real funny. There was a lot of funny scenes in it, and of course, he's just a maniac anyway. So, I
love him. Yeah.
Spoiler alert at this point. I don't know. Probably most people have seen it if you're into video games and things like that. But it's an origin story, but it didn't feel 100% like an origin story, which was cool. And it was just it kind of goes nicely. You can tell at the end of the movie, they've definitely set it up for a sequel. I mean, Tails appears, and Jim Carrey looks more like Dr. Robotnik by the end of the movie, which is cool. So it'd be interesting to see what they do going forward.
Yeah, he looks like Dr. Robotnik and it was a semi-origin story too, because you're right. Like you're like, where's Tails and where's where's Knuckles? Where's all these guys? And it kind of gave you a little brief of Knuckles' family, or can't remember what they're called, but in the beginning of the movie, the Echidna, yeah. But either way, like it set up for a second one. I know there's gonna be a second one because it did really well, which is great.
Yeah, they've already announced that.
Yeah, and Jim Carrey at the very end, he looked so good as the real Robotnik, not the slick Robotnik.
Yeah, he was kind of crazy. He was crazy in the whole movie, and he went full tilt and at the end of the movie, which was cool. The only thing I didn't like about the movie is there was no Supersonic at the end. I expected with that whole showdown in the street, I thought he was going to go Supersonic.
Oh, don't worry, there's more movies for that.
Yeah, for sure. So
yeah. I didn't think he was going to, because I mean the first time that he went supersonic in the games was
with the I think it was the second one. Yeah. When you started collecting the emeralds.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because you needed the emeralds to do it. So either way, I didn't think he was going to do it, but it was fun. It was
I thought when they zapped his power back into him, he would just like go supersonic and wreck, but it's all good. Like you said, they got more movies for that. So
yeah, and I'm happy that they're gonna do it. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
good for the family.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun movie just to watch, and it wasn't too long, which was cool, and it wasn't too short. I thought it just the right amount.
Yeah, I a lot of times I just judge a movie by I'm really critical of movies, but this one I just I went into it, had no expectations. I enjoyed it. I just walked away with a smile. I was like, oh, it's fun. It was a fun movie.
Yeah, and it it leaves you wanting more, but not in a way of like Avengers or something like that, where it's like, I don't want to wait for the next one to come out, So
right.
Yeah, so cool. I'm glad we both like that, and apparently the general public did too. So
yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, it's been a little bit of time since we have talked about gaming in general and just like what's come out, and like there's a whole new Pokemon game since we talked, and just some kind of new stuff. So what have you been playing recently?
I have been getting into Animal Crossing on the Switch.
Oh, right on. Cool.
Yeah, it just came out this week, and a lot of my brother has it, and our friends in Georgia have it, so we're just it's really fun. I haven't played one since GameCube, because I know there was like a couple on like DS and stuff.
Yeah.
But just really been enjoying it. It's just because a lot of the other games I play are kind of stressful. They're like high action, or just like, or I play competitively.
Strategy.
So this one it's just like strategic, or just like high action. If you're playing like just like team combat games or anything like that, it's just intense. But with Animal Crossing, I can just chill out. I can just lay back in bed, like while watch a show, and just like pull weeds and pick berries out of trees. It's a good one. Been doing that.
Cool.
And then I've also been playing. I actually got back into Hearthstone.
Oh, right.
So they actually launched like a new like way to play the game. It's like called like an auto battler, but it's called Battlegrounds in Hearthstone, and you like draft pick cards and spend gold, and then your teams fight each other. Like you don't actually like pick like the fight sequence.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, like it's I played that game hardcore when it first came out, but it's just a fun. You don't have to buy it. It's like it's completely free, and you don't like it's not like pay to win.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to buy cards or anything because I've paid so much money in the past for cards, and they keep on just adding new cards. So to stay relevant, you have to pay. Like realistically, you have to buy packs and pay, and I don't really want to do that anymore. So I ended up just playing that. It's super fun. Really enjoy it.
Cool.
So it's probably the two things I've been playing, and then just that I've been really enjoying.
Yeah. I picked up DBZ Kakarot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when it came out, and it's fun. I haven't beat it yet. I've been the same here. I've been kind of just playing that casually. It's just basically the DBZ story with more of an open world aspect to it, which is fun. And
That's cool.
You can do like side quests and things like that, and they've added like different updates to it and different side quests, and kind of added more to the outer story. And then there's obviously the inner story that you can just play, which is the show till the end. So the gameplay in it's fun though, and there's like side type things like fishing and cooking and things like that in the game. So it's been fun. It's definitely a fresh take on the game. It's less in it, there is the fighting aspect to it, but it's less about that and more about the adventure, which is cool.
Okay, cool. Nice. That's fun. I'm because they've obviously all the DBZ games, like the fighting aspects have been pretty fun, but it's nice that they just took it, directly from the story, and the adventure, kind of like more just adventure mode.
Yeah, they've really worked out they've really exhausted the fighting aspect, and I think they're pretty set with DBZ fighters as far as that goes. I don't think they're doing much to that other than adding just to that game in that platform, but to this game, it's kind of a different take on the whole situation.
Right. Cool.
Yeah. So that I've been playing that, and then not much else, man. I just obviously Pokemon came out since we played. I think we both beat that. There's been some expansion stuff to that, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, I haven't played it either. I just because I got on my Switch for Animal Crossing, it took the expansion the update that Sword and Shield had. It took forever to download, so it must be a massive gameplay. Yeah, so it must be pretty big because it took a long time to download for me.
Oh wow, nice. Yeah. I don't think I've even turned it on to update it. So, but I've been playing some Pokemon Go. I still play that pretty regularly. They added the battle leagues to it, so now you can battle different trainers and stuff, and that's been fun.
Nice.
Yeah, like ranking and things like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's cool. So anyway, that's about pretty much all like in the world of games. Just been busy with other stuff, work and things. So, also got a chance to look at the Final Fantasy VII remake demo, which is just, man, that game is going to be so good.
So what's the expected release on that now?
I think it's the 6th of April, I believe.
Okay, so it's not too far
One
away.
of those days.
I could definitely do the demo, but it's close enough where it'll be all right.
Yeah, I just saw it one day when I was on there on the network. I was like, oh, I got to download that and try it. And man, it is so close to the original game, just beefed up. Like even like the areas you're going through and things like that, it's so similar, and just to completely remake with the same, even like expanded like voice acting and things like that. It's like a movie, obviously, kind of like the Kingdom Hearts, where you go into different zones and they'll have scenes and things like that. But a lot of the dialogue is really similar to the original game and stuff like that. So it's cool.
Beautiful. Can't wait.
Yeah, I mean that scene where, it's so detailed too in the CGI. I mean, obviously, just where they've taken it, but like. You just, they look like real people. And then the scene where Cloud jumps off the train at the very beginning with his sword is just so awesome. It gives you the heebie-jeebies when you play it,
Oh, man. It's so sweet.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. Yeah. I think that's pretty much here in the kind of short term that's coming out. They pushed back Avengers to September. So that's another one I was kind of looking forward to playing. But and then like every single other movie that's going to come out, they've pushed everything back and canceled E3, and like I'll just, there's not a whole lot out there right now.
I know, man. Yeah, just posting up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, can't Square just release a couple weeks earlier so people can play this Final Fantasy VII in quarantine?
I know. I mean, dude, I can imagine that like video game sales would be massively good right now. So just, I don't know. Like, hopefully it won't. Watch, they're gonna get even more quarantined, and then they're like, oh, we have to postpone the game 3 weeks or like 3 months because our marketing team has to stay at home. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I've been watching kind of the progression of GameStop, and they were like, oh, we're staying open. Yeah, we're braving the storm. We're never gonna close. All this, and then finally, there's just been so much backlash to them. They're like, I got an email today. It's like, all right, the store's not open, but we're doing curbside service pickup. So
yeah,
everybody's just trying to hold on right now, which I completely understand. It's just been funny to see the progression of the stores and things like that, and hopefully by the summertime or whatever, some sort of normalcy will be restored.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, like I'm thinking 60 more days, and we'll see how it goes. But it's definitely not to be messed around with.
Apparently, your county just went on lockdown, so.
Oh yeah, no, like my brother just, like I said, he actually came in the room just a minute ago, but I was like, hold up, we're talking, we're doing the podcast, and but he just sent me a text with our the Travis County, which is pretty much half of, or Austin, or basically Austin County is going on mandatory not essential businesses, but thankfully enough, my business is essential, which is great. So.
Yeah, well, the Prime Minister of England has enforced a lockdown where they're putting like police in action and everything to keep people inside. So it's going pretty serious.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you saw, the amount of cases there were in the U.S. and it like tripled. It went from 8,000 to like 25,000, and it'll be higher than that. So, and then Italy, man, people are dying, bad deaths over there. Yeah, so
it's a bummer.
I think they just want to avoid that. Yeah. They want least amount of people to get sick as possible, so the hospitals don't get overrun, and they don't want they want the least amount of people to die too. So we'll see where it goes, but thankfully enough, we'll just try to stay safe and stay away from people.
Yep. Everybody else do that as well. So
yes,
we don't have any confirmed cases here yet. So, but I'm sure it's going to be here eventually.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the deal: is like even all over the country, even though there's not technically confirmed cases in certain counties and stuff, it's around. They just haven't been testing everyone. The tests are still. They only test people if they have like basically bad symptoms. Like we had someone in Houston, and they called and they said, "Hey, I have all the symptoms," and they're like, "No, you don't need a test. You're probably just sick."
Wow.
And they're like, "No, I have shortness of breath, this and this." And they're like, "Okay." They pushed him, and they finally get a test. Of course, they had it.
Yep.
So, they have it, and it's not a good thing. It's definitely not the flu. It's people who are just saying it's the flu. It's not.
Yeah, it's not something to mess with. So. Yeah, anyway, stay inside, play some video games, listen to our podcast on every single platform 3 or 4 times. That'd be perfect.
Oh, yes.
Leave a review.
We'll be doing more of them, thankfully enough.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to try to get ourselves off the ground for a little, I guess we could call it Season 3 action here. So,
man, we back, baby.
Yeah, yep. So maybe we'll get some good episodes here in a row. But before we wrap up, we want to do a little trivia time here. We kind of had started that before we kind of went on hiatus for a while, but and I went and I did terribly, so now it's Weston's turn again. I'm hoping I'm not giving you too easy questions, but I pulled up some Nintendo multiple choice trivia here.
Sounds good.
All right, so if you're ready, I'm going to ask you these questions. So first off, what is the best-selling Nintendo exclusive game of all time? Tetris, with an estimated 495 million copies sold and downloaded, is the best-selling cross-platformer game of all time. But what is the best-selling Nintendo exclusive? Duck Hunt, Super Mario Brothers, Mario Kart Wii, or Wii Sports?
Wii Sports.
Bingo. Dead on.
Yes.
82.96 million copies. More than double of the original Super Mario Brothers. That's
yes, dude.
That is
you know why I knew that? Whenever the Wii came out, like people who don't play video games were buying Wii and playing Wii Sports. Like playing, you had grandmas like, let's play some Wii bowling.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like,
yeah, it really got in everybody's living rooms and a lot.
It really did, dude.
Yeah.
So that's why was my guess. I'm glad I was right.
Some people would just buy the Wii for that and just the DVD player,
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so I cannot pronounce his name, but which of the following games did Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto not design? Was it Donkey Kong, Kid Icarus, Excite Bike, or The Legend of Zelda?
Okay, say that one more time. Repeat.
Which of the following games did Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto not design? Donkey Kong, Kid Icarus, Excite Bike, The Legend of Zelda.
It's The Legend of Zelda, I think.
False. It would be Kid Icarus.
Really?
Yep. Toru Osawa and Yoshi Sakamoto are credited with designing Kid Icarus.
Oh man, for some reason I thought it wasn't Miyamoto who did Zelda, but obviously I was wrong.
Yeah,
okay,
and
cool.
Sakamoto also created Metroid, just as a side note there. So.
Oh, very cool. Okay, hey, I learned something.
Okay, so now, what is the first game with Princess Zelda as a playable character? Was it Zelda Wand of Gameleon? If I'm pronouncing that wrong, sorry. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Super Smash Brothers Melee.
No, the answer would be...
No, it's Brawl.
Nope. It would be Zelda Wand of Gamelon, published in 1993.
Dude, I don't even know what that is. Okay, that was a good one.
Yeah.
See, if I even knew what that was, or I'd played it. I was like, I know, because in Ocarina of Time, you play as Sheik, but you don't play as Zelda.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I was like, I don't think that's it. And then obviously you play him in Brawl and Melee as. But man, okay, cool.
Yeah, so it was this website says truly an atrocious game that was released for the ill-fated Philips CDI system. So who even knows what that is?
Okay, cool.
Okay, so the next question, which is question 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are in question 4. What is the best-selling Nintendo handheld of all time? The system in question sold an estimated 154 million units since launch. Nintendo Game Boy, Nintendo Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, Nintendo 3DS.
Nintendo DS.
That is correct. I think we talked about that recently, just between us.
Yeah, maybe we did. I just know same thing. Like, I mean, number one, they held on to that DS for so long, and people were just. I mean, that was when Nintendo stock went from like $20 to like $100.
Yeah.
And it was because like almost solely alone because of the DS.
So best of all time bonus question here. Second to what other system? Not Nintendo.
Second, the best-selling system of all time?
It's second to this system. Yeah. So the Nintendo DS was number 2, and then there was a number 1 above that bonus.
PlayStation 2?
Yeah, that's it. I think that was another question we asked each other one time too. So
No, actually that wasn't. I don't think so.
The PlayStation 2 question.
Answer
that or something. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It's been a while.
Okay, so which pro baseball team did Nintendo become majority owner of in 1992? Nintendo spent $100 million to dip its toes in a very different kind of game. The Seattle Mariners, the Oakland Athletics, Kansas City Royals, or the Tampa Bay Rays?
Oh, man.
I did not know this question. This is crazy.
The Seattle Mariners.
That is correct. And you want to know why? Because they are located they are headquartered in Redmond, Washington.
So the only reason I thought about that is because, and this is going to sound kind of not like, it's not racist, but it's Seattle as a hub obviously is close to where like it's where a lot of Asian flights come into. and there's a lot of businesses set up there because it's a hub on that coast. So I just guessed that because I'm like, where else would it be? I mean, maybe the Oakland, but I don't see that, and definitely not like Tampa Bay. So that was my guess.
Yeah, so Nintendo spent $100 million on it, and then they sold it in 2016 for $661 million.
Gotcha.
So
gotcha.
Good on them. So they're not in that game anymore, but in 2016 they sold it. Okay, cool. So let's see. Which Nintendo game caused enough injuries in children to result in an $80 million settlement? Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart 64, or Mario Party?
Okay, repeat that question so I can get it perfect.
Okay, so which Nintendo game caused enough injuries in children to result in an $80 million lawsuit settlement? Tony Hawk's
Tony Hawk.
False. Mario Party.
What?
Under the terms of the settlement, Nintendo was required to provide 4 sets of gaming gloves to every owner of Mario Party who requested them. That's insane to me.
What?
Yeah, that is wild.
Dude, that is so ridiculous.
Okay, so
I thought Tony Hawk because they're like, yeah, my kid skateboarded because of this game, and they tried this triple-double backflip, and they broke their neck.
Yeah, so let me just count up to see where we're at here. 1, 2, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we are on, currently this is moving on to question 8. You've missed 2 out of 7, so you've got 5 right.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so what is the first Nintendo game to feature Mario on it? Mario Brothers, Tennis, Donkey Kong, Wrecking Crew.
Donkey Kong.
Yep, that's correct. No, 1981, classic arcade game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, question 9. What is the name of Nintendo's first ever Game & Watch title? Ball, Oil Panic, Egg, Mario Brothers.
Oil Panic.
False. Ball.
Oh, dang.
The Ball is a simple juggling game, sold about 250,000 copies.
Dang. I should have. I don't know why oil's like, it just sounded good. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, so you got 6 out of 8 correct. Question number 9. We are at which film inspired the enemies of Nintendo's Metroid series? A, Star Wars, B, Galaxy of Terror, C, Predator, D, Alien. This is a good one.
Man. Okay, so. I don't know what Galaxy of Terror is.
I don't either.
Okay, so is it
A, Star Wars, B, Galaxy of Terror, C, Predator, D, Alien.
when was Metroid first released? That's the question. It was 90, right?
I'm not sure. I think so.
I'm gonna go Galaxy of Terror.
That is false. D, Alien would be the answer.
Man,
It makes sense with the whole
I know
alien
it does.
aspect to
Like,
it. Yeah.
the thing is, I'm just like, I just don't. The problem is, all of those legitimately could have like
Yeah.
done it.
That's
even
why I was like,
Predator-
oh, this is a good question.
Yeah, even Predator, Alien's definitely. I was like, oh, Alien makes the most sense just because it's the most diverse too. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't just like one type of alien. There's a bunch of them. But then, like, I was like, what about Galaxy of Terror? I've never heard about that. Why did they even put that in there? And then even Star Wars, like Star Wars has a bunch of different alien-looking dudes.
Yep. All right.
Well, what did I get? 6 out of 10.
You have one more question. You're 6 out of 9 right now. All right.
Okay,
All
there
right.
it is.
Let me just look.
Gotta get a C.
There's 15 questions here, but I'm only going to do 10, so I'm going to make sure I'm getting the best one here for you.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. All right. What was Mario's original name? A, Jumpman, B, Big Red, C, Luigi, D, Squattin' Sam.
Oh man, that is a good one. How do I not know this? Was it Big Red?
False. The answer is Jumpman.
Damn it!
Actually, Mario
Of course
has
he
a
was
few
Jumpman
alternate
because-
names. He was listed as Jumpman in the English instruction for Donkey Kong, which is the very first listing, while Desire Miyamoto.
I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I didn't get that.
Yeah,
It feels so dumb.
that feels so Japanese though. It's like Sentai, Jumpman, Ultraman.
Jumpman.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Plus Ultra, Jumpman.
Miyamoto called him Mr. Video, so I don't even know what that means, but cool. And here we go. The character's name was eventually changed to Mario in honor of the company's U.S. landlord.
Oh, that's cool.
That's interesting. Yeah. So, anyway, so you got 6 out of 10 correct.
Oh man, I wish I got that last one, but it's all good.
Yeah. It's all good, man.
Those were some good questions, man.
Yeah, you want a bonus? You want a bonus question?
Yeah, let's get one. Okay, one bonus.
All right. What was the first Nintendo game to have a game save feature? Was it A, Dragon Warrior, B, Final Fantasy, C, Metroid, or D, The Legend of Zelda?
Final Fantasy.
Legend of Zelda, 1987.
No!
We're off today.
Bro, my brain. No.
Oh, man.
But what? Was it? I guess it was Legend of Zelda 2, right?
I think that would be the first one in 1987.
I guess you could save, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
You would just continually die, but after you beat the dungeon, you would didn't matter, right?
Okay, so the game relied on a soldered watch-type battery to hold the save game data. It's interesting.
Damn.
All right. Well.
Oh man, I'm just not batting 1,000 today, but hey, there's always tomorrow, right? There's always the next week.
Well, there's always next week when you watch me fail.
Yeah. God, you're gonna get them all right. I'm gonna feel so bad about myself.
You got to find some good stuff. It's good stuff.
I'm gonna get the most obscure questions.
Yeah.
Just so you
let's just put it to let's stay in like a category. Like I did Nintendo, like this one. Let's not do something crazy broad. I saw some really crazy stuff that I was like, there's no way either of us would get that. So
I'm gonna be like, all right, time for some Atari 3200 questions.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the first thing I pulled up was like Atari and like everything pre 90s. I was like, well, we weren't born then, so.
Yikes!
Oh man, good times.
Oh, good times.
All right, well, I think that's gonna wrap us up here today, man.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Good to be back, and I guess we'll just have to figure out what we're gonna play next week.
Oh yeah, I had some things on the brain. I was thinking about, but I'll hit you up with that later.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, until next time, we'll see y'all later.
We out.
Bye.
Later.